And now it's time for the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Head Coaches Show with Zack Hudson. Coach, last Friday night, the defense was the story of the game at Callisburg. 54 total yards. That's got to make you happy.
It does. It does. We, gave up one long pass that, gave them the 54 yards, gave up a 57-yard pass. And, they did. They got off the field on third down. They came out. And they carried over from the week before, and it never slowed down, and they kept playing fast, and that's key to us having success on defense.
You had an injury at quarterback early in the game. Mason Riggs stepped in and filled in nicely. Talk about his performance.
It's one of those things that our quarterback doesn't take a lot of shots or anything. Kind of just took a weird hit and hurt his shoulder a little bit. And, Mason steps in, he takes our second team reps from day one. And so he stepped in and did what he was supposed to do. It was a little bit different, and people don't realize, the way we do our cadence and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different for those offensive linemen because Mason always takes reps with the second line. And so when he gets in there with the first line, they have to kind of get used to how he calls his cadence because we call it fast. And any kind of change in that kind of throws everybody off. And it was kind of, we threw the center off one time, threw the guard off the next time. It was kind of a perfect storm a little bit, but they overcame that, did a good job, and we simplified it a little bit for them, and that way it kind of solved that problem. But he stepped in and did what he was supposed to do, still ran the ball well, and he's a threat, and if he's a quarterback or a running back, and so having that threat on the field is still something that other people have to respect.
Offensively, you did what you needed to do, what you always do, seemingly, and that's take time off the clock and run a lot of plays.
They did. I think it was 500 yards total offense, and anytime you can control the ball that much, the other team is left over there twiddling their thumbs for a while, and they almost start thinking too much and start doing things out of character and things like that. But I was proud that we could hold on to the ball that long and play a complete game. Probably the most complete game we've played all season. I thought we did a good job against Pilot Point, but I thought they got better, which is a key going into the playoffs.
Let's take a quick timeout, and we'll hear from Douglas Propane.
We had a little leak. We kept smelling, my wife and I kept smelling gas, and we walked into the house. Called my plumber, and he said, well, you need to call your propane company because they handle that. So I gave Douglas a call. They immediately sent Barry out, and Barry brought out some sophisticated little devices to check for if there was any gas in the house, and sure enough, he found two places. He tightened those up, which was really the plumber's responsibility anyway. He installed those. But they got that fixed up. Since then, we haven't had any problems at all. So I just enjoy doing business with them because they were here when they said they would be here, and they've done everything they said they would do. So it was a pleasure doing business with them.
Coach, now we're in the playoffs, by-district championship game tonight. Is there any change in demeanor with you and the coaching staff for these kids when you get into the playoffs?
There's no change. I'm not a big change guy. That every time you turn around, you got because it's district, you got to change what you're doing and all that. We're going to practice the way we practice and do what we do. And the kids even turn around and ask me, why does it feel different this year? And I said, well, it's different this year because everybody expects it this year. Where in the past couple of years it was kind of a celebration to get in the playoffs and do well. I said, but this year it's expected, and you have to go in there with that mentality that we expect to win. And coming off a 7-3 season like we are, and playing the schedule we did, it's pretty respectful. So the kids have done a great job, and we work like we always work.
At the end of the game, we even signed off the broadcast saying, we'll see you Thursday night at Ron Poe Stadium. Then some crazy things happened, and Whitesboro ended up beating Pottsboro, and lo and behold, we're headed to Justin Northwest to play Grandview. You've had, a chance to look at them, and what are you going to see from Grandview?
Well, you're going to see they got some very good athletes off the edge and a very good running back. And they do a good job of getting the ball outside. offensively. They try to get the ball outside and get you running sideways, and then they run the ball right up the middle. And, we have to do a good job of playing our defense the way it's supposed to be played. And if you get one guy out of position, they're going to hurt you because they got the athletes to do that. Defensively, they run a 3-3 stack, which in some cases can hold up well against what we do. Now, they've never seen what we do. They haven't played anybody that does what we do or anywhere close to it. So, hopefully we have that advantage, on offense, that they haven't seen that. They're going to have to get used to that at game speed. And then, of course, while we're on defense, we face people that do what they do, but at the same time, I don't think we face anybody with that many weapons out there. So, and it's different. Pottsboro's biggest weapon was our quarterback and one receiver. Their biggest weapons are, 3 receivers and a running back. And so it's different how they play the game a little bit than somebody like Pottsboro. But, we have to play defense the way it's designed to play. And again, on offense, we got to hang on to the football. And they're not used to playing people that hang on to the football. And if we can put together a couple of 5-6 minute drives and get off the field on defense every once in a while, it's going to be a great game.
How important will it be tonight to look up in the stands and for the kids to be able to see the stands full and at full throat?
Well, I think the kids, they feed off the support. And you can tell, you can sense it. It's nothing that, even as coaches, you turn around and look at. It's something you sense. And, if you took away the cheerleaders and the band from a football game, and I've had it happen one time during a hurricane, it's the most boringest game you've ever been to. And it's just there's something about football because so many people are involved in creating the atmosphere. There's not that many people involved in playing the game, but creating the atmosphere, there's so many people involved. And when you take that into account, it takes everybody, and it takes a community to support those kids. And it's the community that supports the school. And you can sense that. And there's no better feeling to walk out of a tunnel and, the stands in an uproar. And, you get to kick off with everybody standing and cheering. And they sense that. And there's nothing you can say or do to replace that. You couldn't play music to replace that. And there's just a different feeling that nobody can explain. And it's hard to, pinpoint everything. But, it takes everybody. And to feel that feeling and to feel that support behind you.
You've been listening to the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Zack Hudson.